Prime Minister Dr. Terence Chu called for a change in what he called, quote, glaring global inequities, unquote, that persist, some of which affect Caribbean countries. Addressing the 78th session of the United Nations General Assembly in New York on Saturday, 23 September 2023, Prime Minister Chu pointed to several examples of such inequity, citing the countries of Venezuela, Cuba, and the Republic of China on Taiwan. He called for the lifting of the economic, commercial, and financial embargo against Cuba, for constructive dialogue between the countries of Venezuela and the United States over hurtful sanctions, and the recognition of the Republic of China, Taiwan, and its contributions to development, and the need for its inclusion in the United Nations and its global multilateral systems.
Venezuela has been placed in a precarious situation as a result of the application of sanctions. People continue to bear the brunt of these unilateral measures. We therefore strongly urge constructive dialogue between the governments of the Republic of Venezuela and the United States to relieve the hardships these impositions have caused the Venezuelan people. Further, it ought to be noted that while others benefit from access to Venezuela's natural resources, its Caribbean neighbors are denied as a result of these sanctions. Mr. President, continuing with inequities and the need for respect for sovereign states, Cuba, which has been a generous global partner, is caught in the clutches of an unjust and continuing economic, commercial, and financial embargo, which has caused suffering on a people who do not deserve it. The people of St. Kitts and Nevis stand in solidarity with the government and people of Cuba and call for the immediate ending of the embargo and the removal of Cuba from the unilateral list of state sponsors of terrorism. Mr. President, speaking to the issue of governments and peoples who are excluded from the full participation within the United Nations and the global multilateral systems, I recall the situation of Taiwan. Taiwan has proven itself to be a reliable development partner, which greatly contributes to collective efforts to address the pressing global issues of today. It is our firm belief that Taiwan should be able to make its contribution to the work and budget of multilateral institutions such as the United Nations and the World Health Assembly in furtherance of the common global goals. And it is a hope that the right of its 23 million people to adequate representation can be realized.
He called also for an increased role of the countries from the so-called Global South and for changes in the United Nations Security Council. Glenn Bart reporting for SK Newsline. The reviewing of bids from 30 companies vying for the contract to drill production geothermal wells at Hamilton Nevis is almost complete, according to a source close to the project. The review of bids was extended on 2 occasions, first because of the unexpected high number of submissions, then second, several technical modifications were made as the bidding contenders were narrowed down. There is much optimism about the Nevis geothermal project, because it is believed that it could be the first successful drilling for commercial quantities of geothermal energy in the English-speaking Caribbean. As a consequence of the research, the Caribbean Development Bank provided a US $17 million grant towards the project. Earlier this year, Daniel Best, the Director of Projects at the Caribbean Development Bank, said, quote, a 10-megawatt geothermal power plant on Nevis can generate more than 100% of the domestic demand on Nevis. If successful, the project will go a long way to helping the Federation realize its sustainable energy goals. These include transforming from fossil fuel-based electricity generation to entirely renewable, while expanding generation and developing an interconnection between the 2 islands to increase resilience by allowing for the transfer of electrical power between St. Kitts and Nevis, thereby not only benefiting the people of Nevis, but the Federation as a whole, end quote. With proven support from the federal government of St. Kitts and Nevis, the Nevis Island administration is moving towards completing preparatory work ahead of the arrival of the drills on the island. Political leaders on both islands have consistently expressed the view that the successful introduction of geothermal energy will significantly transform the economy and development prospects for both islands. Glenn Barrett reporting for SK Newsline.
St. Kitts Nevis shoppers, now you can order from China and have your items delivered to you here in St. Kitts Nevis. Introducing Channel Links, a shipping and logistics company from St. Martin that is making your ordering from China dreams come through. Channel Links imports top goods and items for vehicles, accessories, consumer electronics, cosmetics, furniture, toys, house supplies, and much more. Ship your items to a Chinese address, and Channel Links will take care of the rest to ship your products to St. Kitts. If you wish to get your items much faster, Channel Links also offers air freight services. So shop on Alibaba, AliExpress, and other Asian shopping sites. Get low affordable prices and get your items shipped to you. Call or WhatsApp Channel Links in St. Martin at 1-721-554-4802, 580-0171, 580-0065, or 580-4834. Or you can email them at contact_us@channel-links.com. Channel Links, your shipping solution.
It's beautiful. He took one look at you and the angels started singing.
Another wonderful day.
What would you say about staying here for a few months or like a year, just so that we can be together again and just live and love and laugh and have fun and breathe?
Why are you hiding out on a little Caribbean island, singing in a beach bar?
When I came here, I was at peace, and I never left.
This is the beating heart of Nevis. This is what grounds me, what feeds my soul. It's where I found myself.
I hope your life here will be full of joy. Love this island, my son. She will give you more than you can imagine.
Premier Mark Brantley, head of the Nevis Island administration, raised concern over utterances of some supporters of the Nevis Reformation Party that he believes encourages the entry of violence into the political landscape of Nevis. Speaking on his talk show On the Mark, aired on Vaughan Radio, Brantley expressed the view that the new trend could be a result of growing frustration among supporters on their party's failure in Nevis Island elections, winning only one out of the last 16 elections. He urged political party supporters not to go down that road of violence.
We have these talking heads, what I call these empty vessels, that continue to go on radio, purporting to be speaking on behalf of the NRP. And some of the things that are being said, I believe, are dangerous in the extreme. You know, somebody reminded me the other day that when there was the genocide in Rwanda, that genocide was in large measure fanned, the flames were fanned by people on radio, referring to their fellow countrymen and women as cockroaches, and calling out to their supporters to go out and kill the cockroaches. And that led to a massacre of well over 1 million people in Rwanda. Words have impact and meaning. And it is important for those of us who get behind these microphones, who get behind the computer, those of us who are seeking to influence public opinion, that we be responsible in what we say. Because as the old people say, where things start and where they're going to end. Let us not go down this road of preaching violence in our politics.
As talk show host, Brantley said there is a responsibility to ensure that people do not use such programs to peddle and promote unlawful, unethical, and dangerous behavior.
Time and time again, people have called in. I have disagreed. I have said, no, that is not the way to go, or I have cut them off. Because I think we have a responsibility. And that's why I mentioned Rwanda, because it was radio programs just like those, calling people cockroach and saying exterminate them, that led to the killing of over 1 million people. Where things start is not where they're going to end. And leadership requires that we condemn these things and tell them it cannot be that you are the spokespersons for any political party, because that puts into our body politic something which is alien to Nevis. We've had election after election. We've never had those types of concerns. And so that is my concern, that the frustration of not being able to win an election is now leading to this talk that I'm hearing. And as I said, I will bring the evidence.
The Nevis Premier called on the NRP leadership to condemn such comments and to actively play its part in stamping out the behavior. Glenn Bart reporting for SK Newsline. Speaking on behalf of the Caribbean community as health spokesperson, St. Kitts and Nevis's Prime Minister, Dr. Terence Drew, reminded world leaders of their commitment to universal health coverage and the limited progress made so far. Prime Minister Drew was addressing the high-level meeting on universal health coverage themed Expanding Our Ambition for Health and Well-Being in a Post-COVID World. While the COVID-19 pandemic affected progress on achieving goals for universal health coverage, PM Drew told leaders that getting control of the high level of non-communicable diseases globally was critical to instituting universal health coverage.
4 years ago, we committed to moving together to build a healthier world through universal health coverage. Sadly, at the current pace of progress, up to 1/3 of the world's population will remain underserved by 2030, and there has been minimal or no progress on service coverage since 2019, largely because of the COVID-19 pandemic. Mr. President, the governments of the Caribbean community remain fully committed to achieving universal healthcare coverage. We underscore that people everywhere should have access to nationally determined sets of promotive, preventive, curative, rehabilitative, and palliative essential health services across the life course, while ensuring that the use of these services does not expose them to financial hardship. We welcome the commitment to scale up efforts to build and strengthen quality, people-centered, sustainable, and resilient health system entirely through implementing people-centered, gender-responsive, disability-inclusive, and race-responsive health interventions. Our primary health care policies have been a cornerstone of our health care coverage implementation, delivering an estimated 90% of our essential interventions. We will continue to build upon our primary health care systems to broaden the scope of our coverage, and will also strengthen our health workforce. Mr. President, non-communicable diseases account for 74% of all deaths worldwide, and universal health coverage cannot be fully realized until NCD prevention and control are addressed globally in a comprehensive manner. CARICOM, as a region with a high non-communicable disease burden, continues to prioritize primary and specialized health services for the prevention, screening, treatment, and control of NCDs, including factor reduction and risk factor reduction and prevention in its health policies. We will continue to champion this cause.
The meeting held during a forum of the 78th session of the United Nations General Assembly, where political leaders, policymakers, and experts in the field of healthcare discussed critical issues surrounding universal health coverage. Ben Bard reporting for SK Newsline.
St. Kitts Nevis shoppers, now you can order from China and have your items delivered to you here in St. Kitts Nevis. Introducing Channel Links, a shipping and logistics company from St. Martin that is making your ordering from China dreams come through. Channel Links imports top goods and items for vehicles, accessories, consumer electronics, cosmetics, furniture, toys, house supplies, and much more. Ship your items to a Chinese address, and Channel Links will take care of the rest to ship your products to St. Kitts. If you wish to get your items much faster, Channel Links also offers air freight services. So shop on Alibaba, AliExpress, and other Asian shopping sites. Get low affordable prices and get your items shipped to you. Call or WhatsApp Channel Links in St. Martin at 1-721-554-4802, 580-0171, 580-0065, or 580-4834. Or you can email them at contact_us@channel-links.com. Channel Links, your shipping solution.
It's beautiful. He took one look at you and the angels started singing.
Another wonderful day.
What would you say about staying here for a few months or like a year, just so that we can be together again and just live and love and laugh and have fun and breathe?
Why are you hiding out on a little Caribbean island, singing in a beach bar?
When I came here, I was at peace, and I never left.
This is the beating heart of Nevis. This is what grounds me, what feeds my soul. It's where I found myself.
I hope your life here will be full of joy. Love this island, my son. She will give you more than you can imagine.
Prime Minister Ariel Henry has painted the picture of a run-down country basking in lawlessness as what awaits Kenyan police officers set to be deployed to restore order there. In his address to the United Nations Assembly in New York, Prime Minister Ariel said that so dire is the situation that violent attacks that include assassinations, sporadic arson, and theft are a daily occurrence. Meanwhile, Kenya's Ministry of Foreign Affairs says that Kenya is ready to proceed with the deployment. Our senior political affairs reporter, Ibrahim Karanja, tells us more.
With not a single elected leader or government currently in place, chaos have marred Haiti, with its capital, Port-au-Prince, being the nerve center of lawlessness.
My brother, how are you?
As a result, Kenya is at advanced stages of deploying at least 1,000 police officers to restore order in the Caribbean nation.
Doing nothing in the face of the historic isolation, neglect, and betrayal of the people of Haiti is out of question. Inaction is no longer an option. As we mobilize to show up for Ukraine and countries that have experienced the devastating impact of climate shocks, including Libya, Morocco, and Hawaii, we must not leave Haiti behind.
President William Ruto offering Kenya to lead a UN multinational force to combat the gangs within Haiti. Already, Jamaica and Bahamas have offered to back up Kenya. Haitian Prime Minister Ariel Henry now stating what awaits the visiting deployments.
On a daily basis, people are facing violent attacks by armed gangs, which control various areas in the capital and some provincial towns. They assassinate, they set fires, they pillage, steal, and abuse with particular cruelty.
According to Ariel, thousands of families have been internally displaced, with the Haitian police unable to contain the situation as not less than 100 armed gangs terrorize locals.
The deterioration of the security situation in recent weeks has led to a new humanitarian crisis, with displaced persons spontaneously occupying various sites to escape gang violence. More than 25 schools in the capital are used by internally displaced persons, to an estimated sum of over 16,500 people.
And that is not all.
The health threat is also present, with cases of cholera being detected in certain areas. This increases the risk of transmission and is a real public health issue for the population.
Kenya has already signed a deployment deal with Haiti at the sidelines of the United Nations General Assembly. US President Joe Biden lauding Kenya for the move. A fact-finding mission to Haiti from Kenya that included diplomats, humanitarian experts, and security personnel has since returned to the country. Ibrahim Karanja, NTV.
Vice President Dr. Bharat Jagdeo has disclosed that none of the bidders in the recently concluded oil block auction have expressed concerns over the claim made by Venezuela. Earlier this week, in a communique, Venezuela rejected the ongoing bidding rounds for oil blocks, noting that the maritime areas are pending delimitation between the two countries.
We have not heard from any of the bidders that they're concerned about the statement, and it's not surprising that Venezuela would issue this statement.
The Spanish-speaking nation is claiming over two-thirds of Guyana's land in Essequibo and a portion of its exclusive economic zone. The matter is before the International Court of Justice. The vice president said he was not surprised by Venezuela's claim.
Have done so almost for every major event when we've tried to utilize the economic resources of our country, both on land and in our exclusive economic zone. So it was not surprising.
President Irfan Ali has informed the international community of fresh threats by Venezuela and noted that Guyana will spare no effort in defending its sovereignty. The opposition has supported the government's position. Kiris Gonzalez reporting for HGP Nightly News.
A Filipino fishing boat attempts to enter the disputed Scarborough Shoals main lagoon, but the Chinese Coast Guard deploys rubber boats and chase it away. Filipino